Welcome to the Norfolk Physical Activity Alliance Exercise Referral DVD. This referral DVD has been funded and managed by Active Norfolk and NHS Norfolk. We have worked closely and in partnership with Broadley Active, Norwich City College and South Norfolk District Council to bring you the DVD today. Included in your DVD, you will find a wall chart to support you. This shows all the static exercises and the goal setting chart to help you log how many times you do the DVD. You'll also find an exercise band for help with some of the exercises throughout the DVD. Our thanks goes to everyone who's worked so hard on this DVD. We hope you enjoy it. Be active, be safe and have fun.
Hello, my name's Dan. Welcome to the DVD. Before we get started, there's a few safety aspects to be looked at. If you've been inactive for some time, you have a long-term medical condition, or you're on some kind of medication, it's important to check with your GP or nurse before you begin exercising, make sure everything's safe. I wouldn't advise exercising if you are ill at the time. If you've got a cold or a fever or feeling sick, it's probably best to avoid it for another day. The DVD is designed to be done in your home, any suitable room or space. You don't need a great amount of room, but it's important to maximise what you have. If you have coffee tables that might be in the way or other trip hazards like rugs, you might want to roll them up or just pull them out of the shop. From there, make sure that you've got some useful things with you. Make sure that you're wearing loose, comfortable clothing, that you've got a good range of movement in and you're comfortable to work in. Try and wear flat-soled shoes or trainers. Make sure they're something that are comfortable, have a little bit of grip and are unlikely to slip. Bare feet can be done if you're not handling weights, but I'd advise against socks or worn slippers. Try and have a drink with you. A glass of water or weak squash will be useful. You're going to get warm doing the exercise. It's handy to have a little bit of a drink. And then last of all, in case of an emergency, if you wear an emergency pendant or you have a mobile phone or a cordless telephone, try and make sure it's somewhere nearby within reach at all times so that in the event you have a fall, you can call for help. To prepare the body, we need to warm up. We need to get everything ready, get the heart beating faster, get the body warm, get the blood circulating, so the muscles are prepared, they're less likely to get torn or injured throughout the course of the movement. It's important that we start off by setting our posture. We need to take imbalances out so that we try not to give an obvious reason for injury. To do that, we're going to start at our feet. The feet need to be positioned roughly hip width apart, so we're looking to line them up, pointing forwards, underneath the hips, through the knees into the ankles. Half the weight needs to be spread on one foot, half the weight onto the side of the other. From there, we're looking to rock ever so slightly backwards and forwards onto the heels and toes, just trying to spread the weight so we're not leaning too far forwards or leaning too far back. You want a fairly equal partnership between 50% on the balls of the feet, 50% on the heels. From there we come up to the knees. Try not to lock the knees fully out. Equally, you don't want a big bend in them. You just want them fairly soft and relaxed so they're comfortable and can just hold the weight with no real trauma or overly tense. From there, stand up nice and tall. The spine rises up, the head reaches up towards the ceiling, and you keep everything nice and strong. We come to the shoulders and you try and relax the shoulders. So shake them out a few times, just let them relax and let them come down the back and gently relax. Strong through the spine, you can now come to your hips. If you pop your hands on the side of your hips, you can tilt your pelvis much like it's a pail of water. Tilt it forwards, it will spill out to the front. Tilt it backwards, it will spill out to the back. You're trying to work your way through the two extremes until you get yourself in a position where it's halfway between. Somewhere where it's not tilting too far to the front, too far to the back, as if the water was just sitting carefully on the surface. You take a couple of deep breaths from there, breathing in slowly and then out again, before tightening up through the tummy, imagining that the belly button is being drawn slightly towards the spine and down, as if you're wearing a pair of trousers that are a little bit too tight for you. That position keeps nice and comfortable and sturdy. You should feel well balanced out. It shouldn't be too much of a strain. You should feel you can breathe comfortably all the way through the movement. That's your posture set. From there, we need to start building the movement. We start to create a demand within the body. So we've got to start very gently. To begin with, we've just got to tap one heel in front and curl the arms up at the same time before coming back to centre and then doing the same on the other side. And we're slowly away from there, curling the arms, tapping the heels, one after another. Bringing them in, bringing them out. Tap the heels forward, curl the arms up to the shoulders. Working our way through the movement. What this is doing is creating demand in the muscles. The muscles are having to work. They're demanding oxygen to make that happen, which makes you breathe ever so slightly faster. It makes the heart work a little bit more strenuously. And it's nice and steady. The amount of movement that you can do depends very much on how healthy you feel and how much movement you feel you can put in. If you're not feeling very mobile, it might be very gentle, small movement. If you can do big, full movements, so much the better. Try and do the full range that you can use. We can then take it from there. We can change it into stepping back and raising the arms up, and before coming back to centre. So tap one foot back, raise the arms, and then repeat on the other side. The other foot goes back, arm comes up and down. Up go the arms, tap back with a foot. And you repeat, going again. Back one, raising up. Back one, raising up. All the time, keeping it moving, making the body work just a little bit harder than it has been. How high you raise the arms, again, depends on your mobility. If it's just coming up to shoulder height or chest height, it's absolutely fine. You can work through there, but if you can bring it higher, please do. Make it work a little bit harder than you're capable of doing. And then from there, we take them out to the sides. So from the start position, you take both arms out to the side and one foot before bringing back. And then repeating, arms and feet. One foot to the side, arms coming up. Nice and gentle. Makes them work quite comfortably. Working within the range of motion. How high you bring the arms depends on how high you feel you can. If it's just out past the hips, that's fine. The higher you can bring them, the more you can get out of it. So tapping them up, bringing them out. Really just trying to loosen the body off, get it working, get it moving a little bit faster. From there, we bring it back into the centre and we just start marching. Bringing the feet up in front of us, pumping the arms, slowly marching away. And it's just building the movements. It's a little bit more complex each time. The movement is slightly bigger. You're looking to make it work a little bit harder. Just taking it forward, pumping the arms, raising the legs, up and down as you go. And then you can start to punch out. Pushing forwards, driving the arms out in front of you. Again, bigger movements, more muscles used, makes it a little bit harder for the body. If at any point during this it gets a bit too much and you need to stop and have a rest, just stop, catch your breath, and then go again. So you can let it relax, let it come down. If, however, you're feeling quite comfortable, we'll go back to the start again, curling and tapping the heels, but this time we'll go a little bit faster. So it starts to build up. You start to drive them out, one after another. Heels tapping, arms curling. Full movement still, working your way up to what you're capable of doing. Biggest range that you've got. All the way up, all the way down. And then from there, we're going to tap him back, raising up. Nice and brisk, keeping it going, one after the other. Biggest movement you've got. If it's just in front, that's fine. If you can go higher, and you may find that as you get warmer, you have a larger range of movement. So what might start here, coming up to chest, as you get warm, you can come up higher towards your head. And that's excellent. That's the way to work it. Keep it moving, keep it coming up. Before then going out to the sides, both arms up, feet out to the side. Just tapping on the toes, nice and gentle. Arms coming up, arms coming down. Nice and brisk, keeping the pace up. The faster you can do it, the better, but don't overexert yourself. Work to within the means that you have. And then from there, it's back to marching again. Bringing the knees up, pumping them out as you go. Nice and brisk, pushing along. Making it harder still, add the punches. So feet are coming up, arms are punching out. Again, the fuller the range of movement, the more effective it will be. The more you can put demands on the body. And the faster you can go, you may find you're almost jogging on the spot, punching out. Equally, that might be too much, and it might just be a case of you lifting the heels, doing short, singular punches. It's whatever you feel you can do. All the time, you're increasing the demand on the body. You're making it work a little bit harder, making it demand, putting the control in. And that should be prepared. You should now be warmer, you should be feeling a little bit tired, but nothing strenuous. You might be breathing a little bit faster than you were before. Now is an ideal time to have a very quick drink before you move on to the main section. Okay, on to the main content of the exercise. We're going to do 10 separate exercises in a circuit nature. We're going to do 5 that consist of strength and resistance-based work. These are to strengthen the muscles and allow us to do everyday tasks with a little bit more ease. The other 5 are cardiovascular. They're going to make the heart pump, make you breathe a little bit harder, and hopefully burn some calories as we go along. We're going to start off with a nice simple one, sit to stand. It's a very practical exercise. It's something we do on a daily basis. For it, we're going to need a chair. You want a chair that's suitable for you. If it's too low and you struggle to get off of it, Try and find yourself something a bit more sturdy, maybe a dining room chair or the side of your bed, something similar. For this will be ideal for me. I've got a nice comfortable seat, I can sit back on it. Get yourself positioned something sensible in front of it, so you're stable, your feet are flat. From there, all I'm going to do is push my bum out behind me, keeping my back straight to lower myself until I touch the seat. As soon as I touch, I'm coming back up again. And I'm going to repeat that. I'm going to go backwards and forwards, up and down, touching the seat, coming back. Keeping the feet flat all the time, trying to push my bum out behind me so I don't bend my knees over the line of my toes, keeping my head up and my back straight. If you find when you sit down you struggle to get back up without some assistance, you can pop your hands on your knees or on the side of the chair, drive yourself back up using those as well, and help them to lower you down as well if you need to. But if you can do it without, try and bring the arms up and just go up and down. And you want to be doing around about 10 of those. If it finds it's a little bit tricky, you can do less. If you find that you can do more, go up to about 20 or 30 and then move on to the next exercise. That's the first strength exercise. That's for the legs, it's for the bum, it's for the big muscles of the body. From there, we're going to move on to a cardio exercise. Cardio exercise called spotty dogs. Spotty dogs we did in the warm-up. All you got to do is exactly the same as we did before. Step back with one leg, raise both arms up. Tap them with the legs, raising the arms. It's nice and simple, keeping the movement. Arms go up, foot goes back. The pace you go at depends on how comfortable you feel with it. If you can go very fast, you can really start to build the pace up. If not, it could be quite slow, steady, bringing the arms up as comfortably as you feel it is. It might be that they only come up to chest height. It might be that as you get a bit warmer and you feel you can do more, you can bring them right up above your head, keeping them pumping, keeping them moving. It might be that you can do a full movement where you start to bounce from one to the other. That's a lot more dynamic, quite harder to do, and only if you really feel you're fit enough to do it. But you're working away, tapping them out, and the aim is to do this for around about a minute. This should get the blood pumping, get you breathing a little bit harder. You should still be able to talk, but you wouldn't be able to sing along to anything while you were training. If you were, you're probably not working quite hard enough. And that brings us to the end of that minute. So we then move on to a strength exercise. The next strength exercise we're going to do is going to be for the chest and the arms, and we're going to need a wall. We're going to do a modification of the press up. So you're going to step up to something sturdy. A wall is ideal. If you've got a strong staircase or something like that, it can be used as well, but the wall is easiest. Approach the wall, you want to be roughly arm's length away from it. Arms want to go flat against it, underneath the shoulders, and just outside the width of the shoulders. Something that's comfortable. If you find that you can't put your hands flat, you can bridge your fingers if your wrists won't allow for it. You can even use your fists if it feels more comfortable. But ideally, it should be flat hands up against it. From there, you've got to bring your feet together, keep your body straight, and you've got to bend your elbows to lower your body in towards it and then push away again. Nice and simple, keeping it easy, slow movements, lowering the body down, driving it back. Try and keep the hips and shoulders in line, so you're not sagging the hips first or dropping in and leaving the bum behind. Try and lower it all so it's bending the elbows, pushing out as you lower your body. Allow your heels to come off the ground. That means that they won't overstretch through the calves as you do it. Again, aim to do at least 10. If you can do more, you can go up to 30. Failing that, just go for what you can do. If that's quite simple, you can make it harder by stepping further back and leaning more against the wall, or even going down onto something low or onto the floor to make it a little bit more tricky. If it's too hard, you can get much, much closer and lean in from there. Once you've done your 10, now is a good idea to take a quick drink. Have regular sips as you go. It helps keep you moving, it helps keep you hydrated. Next, we're going to go back to getting the pulse raising again, and we're just going to start marching on the spot, same as we did in the warm-up. Marching away, bringing the knees up, swinging the arms, and then start to build that by punching out as you go. Nice straight punches, sending them straight along the line, nice and easy, picking the knees up. Again, pace is controlled by how fit you feel you are. You might be able to go very fast and really run them out a little bit, start pumping it, but it might be that it's quite a slow movement, nice and steady. Whatever you feel is suitable for you, just keep moving. You're aiming to do it for a full minute, so it needs to be a pace that you can maintain and keep steady for that minute. So keep lifting the feet, punching the arms, lift and punch, working them through as you go, keeping it moving. If your arms start to tire, let them drop. Punch down to the ground, keep it nice and simple, working it through. If, however, they're feeling strong up in the air, drive them up. You can really start to push them out, make them work. It's a very easy way to do it. And then when you get to a minute, relax them down and stop. The next exercise is for the arms and for the shoulders. It's a strength movement. We're going to use some equipment. If you have dumbbells in your home, or you can use water bottles or tin cans or plastic bags with weights put in them, anything that creates a little bit of resistance to make things tricky for you. Failing that, given with the DVD, is a rubber band. We can use this elastic band for exercises, which I'll come to in a moment. Sit yourself down into your seat. Sit towards the front of the seat. Try not to sit back. Make your core muscles do some work by having to use your posture and hold yourself upright. So make yourself comfortable, feet are flat on the floor. Arms just hang, holding the weight with the palms facing forwards. Tummy's tight. From there, we're going to curl and bring the weights up to our shoulders before driving them up to the ceiling. Then reverse that movement. Curl up, push up, bend, back down. Curl and push. Nice, easy movements all the way through. Slow, steady. The more controlled they are, the more effective it is. If you really tense the muscles as you do it, you'll feel a lot more strain through them. So either keep it stretched or really work them, make them struggle, make them do the work that needs to be done. Keep them pushing. Again, somewhere between 10 and 30, depending on what you feel you're capable of doing. If you haven't got any resistance or you feel that they're not good, they're not heavy enough, you can use the bands. With the bands, open it up, tuck it under one foot. Try and put it nice and flat so it's solid and it's not going to snap up. Underneath the other leg, and then you're just going to hold it, same position as before, palms open, wrapped around. From there, you're going to do exactly the same process. Curl up, push up. Same movement every time. Curl, push. If it feels too easy, pull it further down. Hold it tighter, increase the resistance on the band. Curl, push. If it feels too difficult, loosen it up. Hold it nearer the ends, curl and push. Same process, just same movement. Bend the elbows to curl up, press up. Pushing up as you go. Aiming for 10, working it out as you need to go. Then from there, we'll take the kit, we'll put them back down nice and safely, we'll move on to another one to keep the pulse raised. We don't want to try and make it simple, keep the pulse going. So we're going back to star steps. Star stepping is side steps, bringing the arms out. Same again, same as we did in the warm-up. Arms up, 1 foot. Keep them moving, keep them pushing, step by step, up and down, up and down. Tempo and range of movement depending on how fit you're feeling yet again. Might be the very small movements. It might be just a light tap, arms just coming up. It might be that you can swing your arms right up above your head. It might be that you can start jumping and doing both together, bringing them all up at once. It all depends on how comfortable you feel with it. Working as you feel you can. Tapping the foot, raising the arm. Looking to do a full minute, keeping the pace up, keep the movement. Still, you should be able to talk, but probably not sing, certainly not whistle or something like that. It would take your breath. You should certainly be getting warm by now. It should really be feeling like you're working more hard than you normally would, more strenuously. This is not an average day activity. It takes a little bit of effort, makes you work a little bit harder. Aiming to do the full minute before you slowly bring it to a stop and relax down. Next exercise, we're going to go back to the seat and we're going to work the back of the arms, the triceps, sometimes known as the bingo wings, and we're going to do dips. Head back to the seat, and I'm going to sit myself on the edge of the seat once more. Once I'm on the edge of the seat, I'm going to put the heel of my palms either side of my bum. Nice and tight. Again, if a big comfortable seat is not very easy for you to use a hard back chair, use a dining chair, something similar, something you can get your hands on. You can also use stairs, or maybe a low windowsill if you've got something sturdy that you feel comfortable on. And you're happy to put it on your weight. Because once your arms are there and you're fixed, you've got to take the weight on your arms and bring your bum slightly forward off the chair, feet forward, and from there, keeping close to the chair, you're going to bend your elbow and lower your weight down towards the ground, but not touching it, before pushing up again. Bending the elbows, keeping the elbows close, bending, pushing, bending, pushing. If you feel that that's too taxing, bring your feet further in and maybe just do small movements. Might be little bops. If you feel it's too easy, take the feet right away, go as far a movement as you can, up and down, really push it through. Aiming to do 10 to 30 repetitions as before. If that's too strenuous or it's too much struggle whatsoever, you can use a resistance band or a dumbbell or something similar. Basically, all you're going to do is you're going to hold it, grab one end with one hand with the other, behind the back. The bottom hand just tucks in so it's an anchor point, it's holding it low. The other hand is holding up nice and high, and from there you're going to straighten the arm before bending it back. Keeping the elbow up all the way through the movement, nice and easily, feeling the tension in the back of one arm. In the event that you do it this way, you have to do the same number on the left arm as you do on the right. So you do a few on one arm, and then you switch it around. So one arm's tight, the other one pulls up. Working up from there. Nice and easy, making it simple. Okay, that's the dips, works the back of the arms. We now need to get the pulse going again. We're going to do that, we're going to find some stairs. Standing out of your chair. In the event that you have a staircase, we're going to slowly bring it across and around so you see them. If you haven't got a staircase, you might have a back step outside, something similar, something that you can work upon. All you need, 3 to 4 inches high, a good solid box. Try not to have something stood in the middle of the room unless it's a proper exercise step. It wants to be something nice and sturdy. You may find that you need banisters or railings or something to lean upon to give you that little bit of extra help. All you're going to do is you've got to put your foot flat on the step, push your weight up to the other foot, and then back down again, as if you're climbing stairs, but you're just doing one at a time, going up and down. Taking the tempo up as you feel you can do it. Up and down as you go, stepping along. Try and alternate which foot you lead with. Sometimes it's the left, sometimes it's the right. The pace you go at depends on how fit you're feeling. If you want, you can run up and down, really start to push them a little bit. If not, take it steady, one at a time. Try and avoid taking the knees over the line of the toe. So it's a flat foot. The knee stays behind the line of the toe, pushing through the whole foot together. Don't lean too much on the front or the back. Push all the way up, lower down. Same as you go down, you lean backwards to let the body weight drop, and then back up. Use the banister if you need to. Keep your movement going, keep it nice and steady. Go in for roughly a minute, same as before. Trying to keep it nice and stable. If you have got stairs, you can make it going all the way up, coming all the way down. So you can run up, turn around, run back down again. All is what makes it easiest. It's whatever's comfortable. From the step-ups, we're going to cross onto the standing row. This is an exercise for the middle of the back. We're going to use the band again. This time, you're going to wrap it around the bar. Here we've got something sturdy, like a banister. It might be that a door handle's useful. There may be something else in the house, like something fixed onto a wall that you can tie it to. In the event that that's no good, take it off, sit yourself down, and wrap it around the middle of the foot. Just stand it through the front. As you're sitting down, your foot then becomes an anchor point, so you can pull in from there. Failing that, we'll wrap it around the bar. We'll use the banister here. Wrap it around once and step back. Hold it in a position that you've got an equal length of band in each hand. We've got to stand nice and tall and relaxed, very comfortable, and we've got to pull the bands in before releasing. Keeping the elbows and the wrists close to my body. I'm pulling in, pulling the shoulder blades together, and then releasing. It's nice and gentle. I'm trying to avoid leaning. I don't want to rock back into the movement. I want to stay nice and steady, pulling in, allowing out. Nice and gentle. If it feels very easy, and 10 would be very simple to do, reach in, grab it tighter, hold it lower down, then pull in. That makes it more tension on the band, a little bit trickier to pull. If it's too difficult, let it out a little bit. Have a gentler movement. But it's keeping it nice and simple. You see I'm at a right angle with my elbow as it comes across, and then bend out. I pull my shoulder blades together. Again, I'm aiming for somewhere between 10 and 30, trying to feel that I'm getting some action through the back. I'm feeling the muscles pull, but I'm not overstraining them. From there, we go on to our last exercise. It's another cardiovascular exercise, and this time we're going to do some shuttle walking. You need a space in your room or in your house or property that you can walk up and down, preferably relatively long. You want to be able to do 5, 6, 7 steps if you can. But if space is limited, you can just walk around a circle in a room. Ideally, you want to be able to walk out, take a few steps, turn, come back again. It might be a corridor in your house, it might be a stairwell, it might be outside in the garden, but you're just going backwards and forwards, simply walking over and over again. Up and down, nice and straight, body's upright, heads up, looking forward, big steps out, nice big strides, trying to be as comfortable and as confident as you can. Aiming to do around about a minute of it. Again, tempo entirely depends on how you feel. If you find that you find it struggle, you might need a walking aid, you might need to do it slowly. That's absolutely fine. Take your time, take it steady. It might be, you can be very brisk, you can almost go into a run and you're shuttling forwards, backwards and forwards, running along. That's no problem. Work at the level that suits you. Try and make sure that you're not straining yourself more than you can, but making it a little bit uncomfortable. You're aiming to do it for the full minute, briskly going backwards and forwards, pushing it out. By now, the heart should really be pumping a little bit. You should feel that you're working up almost to sweat. You're getting quite warm, you might start to sweat slightly. You're breathing harder than you normally would. Your body's really responding to the exercise. It's getting the benefits from it. It's feeling like it's been challenged more than it normally would. In the event that you're getting that, and you feel that you've had enough, stop there, move on to the cool down. However, if you think you could do a little bit more, go back to the beginning of this chapter and do it a second time, maybe even a third or fourth. Increase the level of training that you do and get the most out of the workout. Following the workout, we need to cool down. This is to reduce the load on the heart, make us start to cool down gently, reduce the need for oxygen and for blood around the system, and to stretch the muscles. We've got to start off very gently just by walking on the spot. This is a steady, slow movement, not building up, taking time, just lifting the heels really, gentle movement. While we're doing that, we can start to stretch the upper body. From here, we're going to reach one arm up over the head, try and stretch it down behind the back, and pull it over tightly using the other side. Working our way along, you're going to feel the tension along the back of this arm here. Still stepping gently, feeling it pull in. If it starts to go away, so there's no more tension, pull it a bit tighter, make it work a little bit harder. Try and make sure that you get the full extent of the muscle so it's been stretched out and lengthened, stops it becoming tight, stops you reducing range of movement around the shoulders. Once you've done it for around about 20 seconds, you can bring the arm down, take the other arm up over the head, give it a push to the other side. In the event that this is difficult to do, you can bring your arm up over by the ear as if you're reaching back through your hair and push from the front. That will work just as well and takes the strain from here, but is less struggle. It may be that the position is here where you feel tension. That's absolutely fine. Just make sure that you're holding it whilst moving the feet and keeping yourself in a position that's gently easing you down, feeling the tension all the way through. Again, after about 20 seconds, bring them down. Just shake the shoulders out, and we'll then go on to stretch across the shoulders. Bring one arm across the body, come behind the elbow with the other hand, and reach across to feel the stretch. Still moving the feet, still keeping the tension on. You should feel the stretch around this part of the shoulder. The harder you pull, the tighter the muscle will be. Again, as you stretch, it might start to ease off, in which case you can pull it more closely to you. Still keep moving the feet, still keep feeling the stretch. Working your way through until around about 20 seconds is done. Before you release, bring the other one across, come behind the elbow and pull. And that should keep the tension in there some more. Working the stretch. The reason we stretch your muscles is A, to lengthen them. Short muscles reduce movement around the joints. After you've exercised, muscles will tend to shorten as they heal and recover. So you're pulling them in nice and tightly, and that helps to just reduce the strain on them, lengthen them out, which means you can keep a good movement around the joint. Again, 20 seconds is up. This time, either link your hands together and turn them, or put one hand in front of the other, reaching forwards, allowing the head to drop slightly and the shoulders to round off so you can feel the stretch across the shoulders and the top of the back. Pushing forwards all the time, feeling the strain. If it starts to ease off, push some more. Really pull them out, feel the top of the back, get the maximum workout that it can, and a full stretch. This definitely helps pull it through, makes the most of it, and as you're doing it, really reach yourself out. We're then going to do the opposite. So you stand up tall, turn around, linking the hands behind your back, bringing them up behind you whilst keeping your head up and also your chest. If you find that that's too difficult, you can turn to the front, bring the arms out as if you're stretching your arms wide, and just pull them as far as you can, still keeping the head and chest up. Feel the stretch all the way across the front of the chest. Whichever movement works, whichever is most comfortable for you, all the time though, you're stepping away very slowly, just nice and gently lifting the heels, so you're calling blood around the larger muscles of the legs and bum. From there, you can bring them down. And now we're going to bring our feet to a fixed position. You've got to spread the feet slightly, so they're both pointing wide. And then from standing nice and tall with the feet spread, you've got to bring one arm down to the side, reaching down, keeping the body up so you're not tilting forwards or backwards, just feeling the stretch along the side here. Let that relax and then pull it some more if you feel you can. Again, we're trying to help the recovery. When we exercise, as we come across onto the other side, we build up something called lactic acid in the muscle. It's a byproduct of exercising. It causes muscles to become sore and the whole area to become stiff. So 2 days after you exercise, you might ache a little bit. This is perfectly normal. But if it's a large amount of aching, warm cool downs will really help sort that out and bring it down. And all you need to do from that is keep them working, keep the muscles moving so you flush the blood through the system. That helps remove lactic acid and take the tension away. The next stretch is for the lower body. We take the feet slightly wider if you can, only if you feel your balance, and make sure you've got something around you that you can get hold of if you feel that you're going to tip over. Feet are flat, legs are roughly straight. You'll put a bend on one knee whilst leaving the other one straight and pushing through that heel. This should bring a stretch into the inner thigh, and you can feel it through up there into the groin. Hold that position, feel the stretch as you go. Keep your body upright, try not to lean too far forward as you work. Keeping the tension on. Again, if it starts to pass, reach a little bit further. Keep the stretch, keep it moving, feel the effort. Come back up, go over onto the other side, bend the other leg, push through the opposite heel, feel the stretch as it goes. This helps to loosen you off, helps that recovery process get started so you're less sore as you go along. Okay, from there, stand up again. This time, you're going to take one foot and just put the heel slightly further in front of you with the leg straight. Try not to lean on it too heavily. You can have the foot flat, but if possible, raise the toes. From there, still square on, you're going to push your bum out behind you and your shoulders forward, keeping your back straight. Feeling the stretch on the back of the thigh that's extended in front of you. There'll be a bend to the opposite knee, and you just hold that position, putting the weight on the bent leg. Keeping that nice and tense, feeling the strain through the back of the muscle. If you need to put the foot flat, that's perfectly reasonable. Some people find it easier with the toes up. You're going to hold that, work your way through the 20 seconds. Once you've done that, you're going to come up, reach out with the other one, and do exactly the same thing. Lightly on the heel, push your bum out behind you, shoulders come forward. Feel the stretch working its way through. These are particularly important ones because hamstrings, back of the thighs here, they tend not to get stretched very often. They're often tight, and tight hamstrings can cause back pain. So it's very important to try and keep these as supple as you possibly can. Really helps together. Once you've done your 20, stand up nice and tall, and you've got to take a big step out. So one foot is behind with the straight leg, press down on the heel. Front leg has a bend on it, and it's fairly simple. The feet don't need to be in line, they can be either side of each other, but it is important that they both point in the same direction. That way you should feel the stretch in the rear calf, pulling it out. If you can't feel the stretch, check first of all that your foot isn't tipped out to one side. Pushing it out to one side tends to mean that you aren't engaging the muscle correctly, so bring it back around, make sure they're both pointing forward where the hips and shoulders are pointing. Feel the stretch through the calf. Hold that there. Once you've done your 20, switch over, do the other side. Feel the stretch. Try and keep your weight fairly central, so you're not leaning too far forward, trying to keep upright. Knee bent on the front leg, straight on the back, both feet pointing in the same direction. Nice and comfortable. Make sure you maintain the stretch. And then last of all, you're going to stand up. This time you may need to find something that gives you a little bit of balance. It might be a case you need a sideboard or a sofa or just something that you can hold onto a sturdy chair. And you're going to grab hold of either your ankle, your trousers, or shoes, whatever you can get hold of. Grab your ankle, bring it up towards your bum, trying to keep your knees close together. And you feel the stretch on the front of the thigh here, really pulling the strain through. If you need to lean on something, that's absolutely fine. Balance is not the key exercise here. We're trying to make sure that these muscles get a good stretch out. It may be, as you switch on to the other side and grab the other leg, you might find that you can't comfortably get hold of your ankle or your trouser leg. In which case, either use the band that you've got with you, or you could possibly use a towel or something similar. And all you do is you wrap it around the ankle, hold it behind, and then use that to pull it up. So it may be that you can feel the stretch here, and yet you're not having to reach quite as far down. You're less likely to get a cramp or any kind of aches and pains from doing that. Same process, hold for about 20 seconds, and then release and move again. Once you've worked your way through all of the stretches, just shake yourselves loose, have a drink of water, and you're done.